When I heard Cooler Master was coming out with a budget-friendly small form factor case, I thought it was either going to be 1, a massive dumpster fire, or 2, not actually budget-friendly. Turns out I was pretty wrong on both accounts. The NR200 is 14.8 inches wide, 7.3 inches tall, and 11.5 inches deep, putting this on the larger end of the spectrum when it comes to small form factor cases. This increase of size, however, does not go to waste. This allows the NR200 to fit 2 3.5-inch hard drives, 2 2.5-inch SSDs, GPUs up to 280mm in length, and CPU coolers up to 155mm in height, making this one of the most compatible small form factor cases on the market under 20 liters. While not being the highest quality paint job I've ever seen, the powder coated steel does provide a smooth matte finish, and the toolless side panels make working inside and cleaning pretty easy. The NR200 comes packed with both a 92mm case fan intended for rear exhaust, along with a 120mm fan. If you decide to pony up for the NR200P version, you do get the optional tempered glass side panel, PCIe 3.0 riser cable for vertical GPU mounting, and the 92mm fan gets swapped for a second 120mm fan. These fans have decent airflow for what they are, but with a toolless design for mounting on the lid of the case, they gave off pretty audible vibrations when under any load, so we eventually just swapped them out for better quality fans. As this is my personal build, I decided to go with a Ryzen 5 5600X, cooled by EK240 AIO, with 16GB of G-Skill Trident Z RAM, on an ASRock B550 ITX platform. Somehow, I managed to score an NVIDIA RTX 3060 Ti Founders Edition on launch day, with the system all powered by an EVGA Supernova 650W SFX power supply. I decided to balance form and function in the orientation of the components, since I wanted to showcase the 3060 Ti Founders Edition card while not sacrificing performance. The combination of the vertical GPU mount, tempered glass side panel, and a couple of Noctua NF S12As allowed me to achieve that balance. In order to do this, however, it required me to mod the NR200P, to invert the orientation and mount the 240 AIO here on the top of the case. Looking at thermals for this orientation, after 30 minutes, idle temperatures for the CPU and GPU were both normalized to 30°C. Using CPU-Z stress tests for 30 minutes, the CPU topped out at a very respectable 57°C. The GPU stress test using FirmArc maxed out at 73°C, the highest temperature we recorded during our testing. While stressing both CPU and GPU, their temps were 64°C and 67°C respectively. This shows how essential it is to have the extra bottom-mounted case fans to supply the GPU with that fresh air. I'm not locked in with this layout, but that's kind of my favorite thing about this case. There's so many different options when it comes to mounting and layout. You can really tailor it to your aesthetic or performance needs. And while these temps were within spec for the hardware, they come with a caveat. Like I mentioned earlier, I already modded the case to fit the AIO on the top. This mod wasn't too crazy hard to accomplish, but why Cooler Master didn't design it like this in the first place is beyond me. They advertised this case with an AIO radiator mounted on the bottom, but then in the specs for the case, they say that bottom mounting for a radiator is only for a custom loop. That means unless you're okay with the aquarium sound of air bubbles in your water pump, your only option is to ditch the glass side panel and go with a side-mounted all-in-one cooler. We will be making a walkthrough on how to invert your NR200, but I'd really love to see Cooler Master revise this case with an update to make the top mount radiator a little more approachable to the everyday user. So, is this case for you? Well, if you're looking to get the smallest possible case you can for an ITX platform, or looking to get uncompromised thermal performance, then probably not. The price seems to fluctuate due to the current state of the computer building market, but for about $90 for the base model, or $115 for the P version, that's really a lot of case for your money. That's almost half the cost of an Ncase M1. So if you're looking for a budget-friendly, highly modular ITX case to show off your hardware, then the NR200 is definitely worth a look.
Thanks for watching our NR200 case review. What do you think of the case? Let us know in the comments below, and please consider subscribing for more PC building content.
Bye!